Hello, everyone. I would like to welcome all the young people from the 13 regions who are in the room, and those who could not gain access to the room. To all the young people coming from Africa, to support the youth of Burkina Faso, welcome to the land of upright people. I will pay a vibrant tribute to our brave defense and security forces and our valiant ones, VDP, who fight day and night so that Burkina Faso stands up and remains standing. I wish that we take a minute to pray for those who are on the ground and also for the rest of the souls of those who have fallen for our homeland. Thank you. Let us give thanks to God who has allowed us to gather here today on the occasion of the celebration of International Youth Day in good health. I say it very often because human beings often forget God when they have no problems, when they are happy. But when troubles come, that's when we remember God. Give thanks every day for the breath of life and for health. Youth, energetic youth of Burkina, youth of Africa. Youth, this phase of life, where one has enough strength, enough energy, like the paraphraser, so the slammer who just performed. Youth, it's the time when we don't have enough time. We must make the most of the time given to us. Use the necessary energy to achieve our goals, to change the world, to achieve our goals, to change the world, change our world, change the world of others, positively. Children wish to grow up to be young. Elderly people wish to become young again. Everyone wants to be young. Youth is a blessing. So make the most of youth to do something useful. That's why when I see in the chosen theme, the first two words catch our attention. Integration. Security. Africa faces many challenges. And we must ask ourselves questions. Is youth an asset or a handicap for the development of nations? The answer is simple and unequivocal. And you know it. Developed countries mostly have an aging population. And currently, many countries have launched programs to rejuvenate their population. Africa has the advantage of having a very young population. But why is Africa not developed? We must therefore look into the matter. To understand why Africa has a young population and is not developed, while the countries that call themselves developed are seeking to rejuvenate their population. We must therefore succeed in transforming our youth into a true asset and a driver of development for our continent. And to do so, we need integration. We need security, development. We need to unite. Certainly, you will hear about the African Union. Yes, it exists. But what is the effect of the African Union in reality? We cannot talk about integration in the theme without talking about the African Union. Because it is this organization that should unite us, create real integration. But we regret to see these wars that persist on the African continent, killing millions of young people. And that this organization, which has heads of state For life in its army cannot organize itself to support certain countries. Unity is not just a word. Unity is a symbol. And we, the youth, should learn a lesson from this situation to unite, to make integration a reality. I was unpleasantly surprised when Ethiopia, which hosts the headquarters of the African Union, was experiencing a conflict. And when I saw the Prime Minister don military fatigues and announce the closure of the university in Addis Ababa to face the threat, I did not see any action from the African Union to protect this headquarters. Most Western states, seeing Addis Ababa on the brink of falling, packed up and left. Ethiopia fought, found an internal solution, and is living more or less in peace today. Children in the Congo have been dying. In the Congo have been dying for years. Several other conflicts, such as in Sudan, exist on the continent. We would have liked to see the African Union generate the forces and all the necessary strategies to support these states so they can regain peace. We won't even start talking about us here in the Sahel. For nearly 10 years, the Sahel has been the stage for international terrorism. But we see no support from these organizations to find a solution to this problem. Worse. A few days ago, a country foreign to Africa openly announced having supported and participated in a cowardly, terrorist and barbaric attack against forces of our confederation in Tinzawaten. The African Union did not utter a word to condemn this interference. The African Union did not utter a word to condemn this interference by a state outside of Africa in the internal affairs of our states. And this outcry, I would like them to hear it and come out of their silence and take actions so that the youth can believe in the African Union.
Thank you.
We need to unite. And the only way to unite is to talk to each other, to understand each other, and to be able to establish the foundations of this unity. And young people, let me tell you that to unite, there are three major vices that must be banished from our behavior and our lives. I'm talking about cowardice, betrayal, and incompetence. We must banish these three words from our way of life. I will explain to you why. Cowardice encompasses many vices. A coward is always afraid. And when we are afraid, we become slaves. We yield. We give up the dowry. Our ancestors were not cowards. And if we are cowards, our children will question us. Imagine if in Burkina we refused to fight and accepted to submit to live in slavery. Tomorrow our children will grow up. They will ask questions. Were our parents cowards to leave us in slavery? Whether we are alive or dead, we will feel it. The coward is afraid. And the imperialists have understood this. They try to scare the leader so that you become cowards. Because when you are a coward, all other vices can arise. They do everything to make us afraid. They come into our palaces. They threaten us directly or with veiled threats. Of course, we respond as we should. They try to make us understand. They always take examples. They will tell us, Thomas Sankara tried to do it like that, but where is he? He is dead. The Haitian president, he tried to do it like that. Where is he? He is dead. Gaddafi tried like that. Where is he? He is dead. These are the kind of veiled statements they make to scare us. And then we also often see some young people trying to follow in their footsteps in a different way. We can hear them say, such a person ruled like this, he is at the ICC. Such a person ruled like this, he is in prison. All this to try to scare us, to make us cowards. But I think they haven't understood something. When we say the homeland or death, we shall overcome. It's not just a we shall overcome. It's not just a phrase. It's not just a phrase. It has its full meaning. We are not afraid and we will never be afraid. We will continue on our path. They have surely scared many African heads of state. You see, often when we speak or when we have the opportunity to be in certain situations abroad, we often make statements to call on African heads of state to wake up, take care of our youth, to be able to initiate our real development. We are often misunderstood. Some have publicly responded to our statements because they feel targeted. But I can assure you, youth, that when we meet in the hallway, these same heads of state tell us, you are on the right track. This is what needs to be done for Africa to succeed. So, we ask them questions like, why don't you do as we do? Why don't you support us? Some tell us that their hands are tied, some tell us that they cannot. Dear elders, African heads of state, from this platform, I would like to say that African peoples are the most peaceful people. When you acknowledge a wrongdoing, you must tell the people, so that we are not afraid to come out and tell the people. We apologize. We were compromised. We have ill-gotten gains. We were pressured by many things, and we ask for forgiveness, and we are getting back on the right track. And to start truly working for the independence of our states and our emancipation. I think it's possible. If we remain in this posture of fear, we will be cowards, and history will judge us. Our children will ask questions, our grandchildren will ask questions. We are writing history. There is no room for cowardice. If our ancestors had been cowards, we wouldn't be here. Remember, I give you an example of the Bamileke and Bassa peoples, I mean the Cameroonians. The Union of the Peoples of Cameroon, which since the 1950s began a relentless struggle against the colonizers. But they were massacred. The French colonial armies at the time deployed infantry battalions, tanks, helicopters, and annihilated entire villages. The most inhumane tortures took place during this period. You can research what they called the swing or the cement mixer. Hundreds of thousands of people were decimated in Africa because they dared to ask the colonizers to leave their land. This led to a civil war that lasted several years. This is to say that people dared, they faced the imperialists barehanded so that we could be here. There is no reason why we cannot face the imperialists so that our future generations can live. There are many examples throughout Africa. Every year in their economic surveys. Burkina Faso is the poorest country, Mali is the poorest country, Niger is the poorest country. We are ranked among the last. Very well, if we are as poor as they say, but when the time came to take responsibility, we asked these masters to leave. Why don't they want to leave? When we take the case of Niger, for over 40 years, some countries have been exploiting uranium to produce energy for themselves. From Ottawa to Paris, the streets are lit up. That's the light. But in Niger, it's darkness that is served to us. When you go to our states, our lands are riddled with holes, everywhere in search of precious metals like gold, but often there isn't even the slightest accessible road to reach the areas where they exploit gold, let alone some basic social services. That's why we decided to revolt and take the destiny of our countries into our own hands. There are many other examples. But when we decided to do so, well, we were approached by some armchair slaves to deliver the message of their master, because they had created this kind of polymer chain that rises to the head of our states to serve them. And we came to break the chain. And it's inconceivable for them. They approached us and asked us to fall in line, to become part of the elite that must lead Africa. Because they have a trained and conditioned elite that they must follow, who are embedded in that chain. We refused to fall in line with them. And from then on, hostilities began. They have infiltrated our areas with several mercenaries, trainers. Agents have descended into the Sahel, hoping to carry out barbaric, cowardly attacks against our populations, hoping to incite them to revolt. In addition to these on-the-ground attacks, communication attacks, manipulation, and disinformation are rampant in their ranks. But the people of the Sahel have understood, and never again will they be manipulated. They know where they come from, they know what they are doing, and they know where they are going. We will no longer allow this. People are awake and fighting today, not for ourselves, but for future generations. And thank you all for the fight that is being waged. This never makes us cry. We will not tremble. We will face it. We will fight for true independence, for our freedom. Because to scare the people of AS, these individuals only have 3 terms in their mouths: democracy, freedom, human rights. Of course, their local lackeys are only elected in a democratic, free, and transparent process, according to them, their values. What could be more normal? That they want to impose this on us, because they are the ones who set the rules. Very well, we have decided to take responsibility for ourselves. That's why on July 26, 2023, when Niger decided to turn the page, the armchair slaves and their masters got on their high horses they put their local lackeys forward and decided to wage a war against the Nigerian people. So we said, anyone who dares to attack Niger will face us, because we will wage a relentless war to the last drop of blood against anyone who dares to attack our states. This statement, this decision we made yesterday is relevant today and will be relevant tomorrow and forever. Thus, the AES was born on September 16th, 2023, within a framework of mutual defense. But we deemed it necessary to extend and expand the architecture of the AES. What brings us together today should allow us to venture into other areas beyond defense, notably finance and economy, infrastructure, health, education, and so on. I hope that these moments will be a story we write for the AES, but especially for Africa and the entire world. May God enlighten each and every one of us. May God inspire us in these tasks entrusted to us. And above all, when we carry out our work, let us keep one thing in mind: the supreme interest of our populations. With that, we pray once again to the good Lord to accompany us all in our various tasks, to protect our fighters, who, thanks to them, allow us to sit here and discuss the future of our states. Once again, thank you, people of Niger. Be united and in solidarity. People of the AES.